All right, all right, all right. What's up, fight fans? Let's see if we can get these things working. Come on now. Here we go.
The champ is here.
Up early, Adam. You know it.
The champ
Salute.
is here. The champ is here.
What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. And where do all fights start?
Round one.
You know it, because we got
Another one.
another episode for you here. We got a hot one. I had to start off this morning hot and ready like a Little C's pizza. Listen, you got my boys Subriel Matias all over social media, and they can't seem to get the man's name out their mouth. And they talking grimy in these boxing streets about my boy Subriel Matias. We're going to clarify a lot of things that's going around in this boxing world. And I had to get up early and stop all this hate talk on my man, Subriel Matias. I know he's in a bad predicament right now, but we're going to break this all down here at Round One Sports Talk. So join us here at Round One Sports Talk. Hit that like button and let's hop right into this episode. All right? All right, people. Stick around. Ah, well. Is it the old smear campaign? Once again, on another talented fighter that is in a sport where dominantly a lot of foul play do occur. Now, let's hop right into this. Subriel Matias is allegedly being accused right now of testing positive for the one and only Austrian. Where have we heard that before? Ooh, Ryan Garcia, right? Okay. Now, in a boxer's life, athlete's life, they go under a lot of scrutiny and pressure. I'm not making any excuses here, but when everything is on the line and you don't want everything to end and you start to get older in life, Subriel Matias probably finds himself in a situation where just maybe he's not going to be able to make 140 pounds anymore. At 33 years old, it looks like he's packing on the weight, and it's a little bit harder for him to get it off. So what do fighters do? They don't want to call it quits, and they don't want to move up. They're already a champion in the division, and someone comes along and says, hey, you can take this right here, and you'll lose weight. And sometimes these fighters are put in situations they really didn't ask to be in, but they're willing to do anything just for that the lights don't turn off on their career. I've seen that many times. I'm not saying that this is the case in this situation because it has not been proven that Subriel Matias is a cheater and that he did definitely test positive for Austrian and that it isn't a contaminated substance. Now, I have spoken to several people even yesterday, and I think that I need to get up and share this with you guys. Once upon a time as a kid, I worked in labs. You know, I didn't work as the tester. I might have had janitorial duties like taking out and mopping and shit like that. But I talked to a lot of the guys that worked there for the year that I was there. And I kind of got the gist of how things go and how they break things down in the lab and so forth and so forth. You know, I asked a lot of questions. And one of the things that I found out about testing facilities and labs that they can be false positive. And there is a such thing as a false positive test. There are certain things that you can put into your body that will trigger a false positive. So necessarily, Subriel is not 100% guilty just yet. Okay? What he would have to do is, typically in a case like this, they will go to the B sample. The B sample is the one that they thoroughly go through. Now, there are multiple ways of doing tests, right? Let's say that you're on probation or parole or something like that, and they do a test on you. They usually do a urine test. They take your urine, they send it back to the lab if you're positive, and they do a thorough test on the urine. right? They don't need blood at that level. You're not a world-class athlete, and they're not people's lives at stake. So they only do the urine at that level. At this level, you're in a pro setting. You're being paid. You're at your job. You actually can kill someone, Subriel Matias, right? Now, what's going to end up happening is that some people are going to come out and say that every win that Subriel Matias has is either tainted or questioned. And I say hogwash. That's bullshit. Really? Because he tested positive for a banned substance? All right. Well, then let's test your theory out. Is Canelo Alvarez's all wins in question? Yes or no? Then shut the fuck up with that bullshit. If Canelo Alvarez's all his wins and all his belts are not in, listen, then nothing he did counts then. If you what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Don't give me that shit of double standards. And don't give me that shit that all of a sudden Dalton Smith needs to fight Alberto Puello. In what world? In what world did you guys say that because Subriel Matias tested positive that the fight is off? Really? Then why did Ryan Garcia fight Devin Haney? If the night before he tested positive and they knew about it. The boxing commission caught Ryan Garcia the day before, 2 days before the weigh-in. They knew he was positive with Austrian. They let the fight continue. What are you guys talking about? Dillian White. Did he not test positive with AJ? Not once, not twice, but 3 times. The first time he tested positive, they said they were going to allow the fight to continue. He tested positive again. They still said they're going to let the fight continue. He tested positive again. 3 times. So don't give me this bullshit that all of a sudden Subriel fucking tested positive and he's the worstest villain in the fucking planet Earth. Shit happens. Oh, Subriel's guilty. The A sample tested positive. Now the B sample is going to test positive. I've never seen when somebody, fuck out of here. Didn't Jaime Munguia's B sample come back? Did he get acquitted? So just pump y'all brakes. And remember, Vada's not on the boxer's side. WADA, they're not on our side. All these guys, these agents that work in these places, they gotta bust some athletes. They gotta do their job. Bro, you've been working here for 5 years and you ain't busted one athlete? Are you doing your job? Oh, I just got Subriel Matias. Look. Everybody calm down. Let's see what happens. And if they strip Subriel Matias over this, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. Because I'm going to tell you right now, they didn't strip Saul Canelo Alvarez for all his belts. No, they didn't. If you didn't strip the Mexican, you better not strip that Puerto Rican, bro. Because he had the WBC too as well. And Suleiman should have took that belt from Saul. Huh? Listen. He didn't test positive while in the ring. Meaning, when he fought, Subriel Matias fought Mad Match Duracek and Mad Match lost his life, that was a body, homeboy. That's a body. There's an investigation done for that. They went and took a tube of Subriel's blood. That you're at work. A man lost his life. Do you really think that his family allows Subriel Matias just to walk freely without nothing? No, there was an investigation when something like that happens. They tested Subriel thoroughly to see if there was any foul play for him. If anything would have ever came up, Subriel would have been criminally charged for that. And let's not forget that Subriel has a federal record. That the person most likely to get thoroughly checked is the criminal, right? You know how they treat us. You've been in jail once, all of a sudden, once a criminal, always a criminal type shit. You know those people, their mentality? Real simple. Right? What do you guys think this is? A fucking circus act? Yeah, there's a lot of corruption in boxing, but they got a lot of explaining they would have to do to the world and to people's families. Match Derrycheck's family got the results from Subriel Tested. He ain't never tested positive for none of his fights. For nothing. And he beat Alberto Puello on the up and up. And Subriel Matias has been fighting that style, that way, his entire career. And all of a sudden, he tests positive. And what? Now Subriel's a phony? Now all his wins come off Austrian? Really? Yo, it's like a fucking joke. Whenever they want the double standards in boxing to exist, they'll hyper focus on one guy. And they'll all try to come down on him. But wait, how many people tested positive? Didn't Tyson Fury test positive? Did they take his WBC belt? Conor Benn tested positive. He's in the biggest fights of his life. How many Eddie Reynoso's fighters tested positive? What are we talking about here? What do we like Subriel is the fucking end all, the poster boy of cheating now. Now it's a Puerto Rican fighter that we're all gonna No, you know why they're doing that? Because they're trying to destroy us. They're trying to destroy the Puerto Rican fucking fighters. They're trying to make us seem like we're not them. We're not him. That we're not out here fighting bullshit. Bullshit. All right? Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for Subriel. I like the man, everything. If he did it, he did it. Then he's a cheater. Just like Ryan Garcia, just like all of them. But I get it. I get it. I get the pressures of your career and finally getting where you're at, but it took you a long time to get there and you're much older. And you wish you could just stay in the moment. That's a lot of pressure. You look at your 3 daughters, your wife, your island. Everybody got hopes and dreams on you. And here you are. You can't stop Father Time. Father Time is undefeated. And you're getting older. And your body cannot adjust. And all of a sudden, here comes this fucking guy. Hey, I got this for you. You know, this clear stuff in a bottle. This is glue, but I'm just acting like it's the PE. If you take this, you'll lose weight. How many nights do you lose sleep after trying day by day, trying to lose a pound and it just doesn't come off? The fight's getting closer day by day, and it's just not working for you. Finally, you give in. You say, yo, let me get that shit, bro. I'm going to try it. And it bites you in the ass. Then all of a sudden, everything you've ever done is in question. I don't think that Subriel Matias, his entire career, I know Subriel Matias, his entire career, has never used no drugs or Austrian. I know that for a fact. You can look at the man. You can look at some dudes with PEs, and you can tell. Sometimes it's really hard to tell, but you can tell when an athlete, right, his entire prime career, he was just an average fighter. This motherfucker gets up into his 30s and all of a sudden becomes a phenom. You've seen it. You've seen it. Damn, this guy is fighting 12 rounds. He got the, wow, he's fighting greater later than he was earlier in his career. Really? You just got stronger, faster, and quicker the older you got. Then you start to notice things. But when you see a fighter his entire career from the amateurs fight exactly the same way, brother, that wasn't no drugs. That was a situation where he got to a point in his career where I believe he got desperate. He got desperate. And he tried something he should have never tried. I think that's what happened. If he is positive, I believe that's what happened in Subriel's case. Does it acquit him? Nah, you're guilty then. You see, I can't condone him for using a banned substance for Subriel. No, I can't. I can't do that. If he did it, he did it. Then fuck, he's busted. It is what it is. But don't give me this bullshit. Like Subriel Matias is the first person on fucking planet Earth of boxing to ever test positive. And don't feed me no bullshit like all his wins are in question. And don't feed me this bullshit like Dalton Smith is going to fight Alberto Puello for a WBC world title. No. They can still allow this fight to continue. Still compete for the belt. Same way they were going to do with Dillian White and AJ. Same way for the heavyweight straps. Same shit. They let Ryan Garcia fight Devin Haney knowing he was positive. And had Ryan Garcia made weight, the belt would have been on the line. They never said the belt's not on the line because you tested positive for Austrian. No. They probably would have stripped him afterwards, maybe, but he would have won that belt. Just like Luis Pantera Nari won the belt in Japan when he tested positive. Then he had to go back to Japan and refight the Japanese dude. He won it, then stripped, then had to fight him. Hey, it is what it is, right? But you can't just sit here and say and put all this on Subriel Matias like he's the villain of boxing. He is not the villain of boxing. We all know this shit happens in the sport. Heck, how many times have you said we think they're all on it? Every last one of them has got to be on something. How many times have you caught yourself thinking that? Whether or not it's true, every guy in there is trying to extend their boxing career, extend and heighten their performances, their performance. Is it right? No. As a man, I want you to beat me on the up and up. On the up and up. I want you to beat me on the up and up. You know, it sucks when you lose a fight that they give the other guy the fight and he didn't earn it. OC the boss versus me. He didn't earn that victory. I bust his ass. They found the way to give him the win. Sometimes that shit sucks, right? So you don't want your favorite fighter for shit like this to happen. Fighters like Conor Benn, Tyson Fury, Saul Canelo Alvarez, Alicia Bungard. Did they strip Alicia Bungard when she got her tested positive? I would like to know that. Can anybody answer that? I don't think they took her belts. Anyway, there's been a lot of fighters, but I just want to remind you that yes, allegedly, so far, Subriel Matias tested positive for Austrian, but he was never in competition. Remember that. He was never in the ring with someone. He got popped before the fight. That means that he never entered the ring, competed with somebody, and then they can say that you could have hurted somebody. There could be charges put on you. You understand? So while he wasn't in the ring, he was under contract. Now, there's one thing I need to ask. There's one thing I really need to know. And the only way I can do that, I'm going to have to make some phone calls later. Maybe, just maybe I can get this answer that I'm looking for. Whether or not Subriel and Dalton Smith were locked in and they were both signed in for training camp for their fight. That I have to know. That's the only one thing I got to know. I got to read this chat because I know you guys are saying a lot of things. Hit that like button, everybody. Turkey and Eddie have the... Oh, shit, fun line. to make the allegations since they lost the purse bid and they didn't expect Puello to lose. They had Smith already for Puello, not Matias. Yes, yes, that's the powers that be. And the fact that uh Fresh Promotion went behind Turkey's back and they outsmarted them and beat them on the purse bid, I think they're salty. I think the prince, the fucking Turkey Al Sheikh, he don't like to be told no. He don't like nobody to get one up on him and make him look. And all of a sudden, Subriel Matias is testing positive when he was the one that got out of that card, that Saudi card, and chose to do it on his own. And Dalton Smith was the Saudi prince's choice, not Subriel's team's choice. And he's the one that got Dalton Smith into this in the first place, and then they didn't get the fight, and then all of a sudden, Subriel Matias tests mysteriously positive, which he's never test positive for, right? Okay. Now you got to remember that these people don't have any problem saying that the fighter was positive. Didn't they just come out and say that Jaime Munguia was positive for Eddie Reynosa's team and all the guys that tested positive over there, right? And then what happened? Did he not get acquitted? And was it announced that he was positive against Bruno? Am I saying anything wrong here? Have I not been watching boxing? Have we not been watching? I just saw Jaime Munguia A sample test positive, and all of a sudden he's negative. He's been acquitted. Yo, Subriel, whatever Jaime did, y'all better pay that back. I mean, yo, just fix it. Right? Yo, talk to Eddie Reynosa, man. You know what I mean? Get that lawyer. Whatever they got, go over there and get that shit. Right? I just saw that though. All jokes aside. I just saw that. So there are a few things that can happen here, right? Here's the problem. I'm not sure if Suleiman, the Mexican owner of the WBC, really cares too fondly about Puerto Rican champions. But I'm not sure if he cares about Irish champions neither. But I know the one thing that the WBC does care about is dollars and cents. That's what they care about. And if Dalton Smith can be a bigger attraction out there with Ed Hearn and fucking Ireland, whatever it is, the Irish, they're gonna try to strip Subriel and put that belt around that white dude's waist because they're gonna try to make money off. That's the one thing that the WBC is with. They're with the money. They're not technically with the fighter. They really don't care. They care about your star status and how much revenue you're bringing in for the WBC. That's basically what they care about. They only want the biggest stars in the game wearing their belt, the WBC. They're real bougie when it comes to shit like that. They are. Something isn't adding up with all of this. Yes, bang. Nah, it's not adding up, man. I gotta tell you, yo, we found out some info last night after the. Wait a minute, let me see what it says right here. We found out some info last night after realizing Subriel was only tested once, and that the test results was sent to the WBC, who, what? For not testing positive. What the fuck is going on, Bang? Where did you see that at? Yo, we found out some information last night after realizing Subriel was only tested once and that test results was sent to the WBC, who congratulated both Matias and Smith for not testing positive. Hmm. Hmm. Somebody's fucking around. They beat Matchroom for the purse bid, but they both the same. Yo, listen. Hey, if that's true, then the WBC headquarters right now is like saying, "Hold on, you none of you guys tested positive, but all of a sudden the next day y'all tested positive." That's what you're saying, Bang? Somebody might have fucking. They're trying to throw a curveball at Subriel Matias. Maybe get in his head, show him that the powers that be, the higher ups, if you don't bend the knee, will come at you. Could that be a case that's going on right here in real time, right before our eyes? And you know what hurts me the most? You want to know what hurts me the most? These other fake ass Puerto Rican channels that have no problem fucking bashing Subriel Matias all the time. These dudes are like Boricua Chapiao. Bro, they some suckers, man. And I'm not saying that you just because you Puerto Rican, you gotta like, like agree with every fucking Puerto Rican fighter. No, no, no. You don't have to. I'm not necessarily buying into Edgar Berlanga all the time, right? And you guys know how I feel about him. I like him. He's a Puerto Rican fighter, but I never was really on the side that he was what they were saying he was. I was saying that they needed to build him. He was coming along the right way, and then all of a sudden he got a big jump in competition. They just rushed him too far, too fast. I think Edgar still has a chance of being a great fighter. He just got to go through that process. He kind of went through the first process and got jumped to star status. He went a little too fast, and that's why he looked like that. But just because you're Puerto Rican doesn't mean I have to go with you. No, but I don't have to bash you. How many of these fake ass Puerto Rican dudes all over Subriel, not even because of this testing shit, way before it. Oh, he was going to lose to Alberto Puello. He's a one-dimensional fighter. He's this, he's that. And Subriel time and time again proved them all wrong. And you know what they do? They don't fucking come on and give Subriel his flowers for long, huh? They double down on their bullshit. They do. You know what? Because them motherfuckers can't see Subriel for the fighter that he really is. He's a beast. Let me tell you something right now. His style is so complex that these simple-minded, non-fighting boxing channels that ain't never had a fight in their goddamn life are going to sit there and try to break down Subriel Matias like they know what they watching. They don't know what they watching because they don't understand fighting. You know what they understand? Shit talking. And shit talking is cheap. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And every time these motherfuckers get on these channels, they want to shit on Subriel because they don't know what they're watching. They don't know they're looking at a master at work. They have no idea what they're watching. Subriel is a fucking problem, bro, to beat. And even though he took the best boxer that they said, oh, boxing is Subriel Matias is kryptonite. Really? Really? He beat the shit out of Alberto Puello. One of the best talented boxers in the game. He gave Gary Antoine Russell a boxing clinic. He taught Gary Antoine Russell a boxing lesson. Alberto Puello. That man can fight. That Alberto Puello is a fucking boxer and a slick one on top of that. Very great boxer. What did Subriel do to him? Because they don't know what the fuck they watching. They don't know what they watching. A bunch of people with a bunch of fucking insight on a bunch of boxing channel, they ain't never had a fight. They don't know the first thing from a fucking right or left. They don't know nothing. All they know how to do is express shit. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. You don't know what you're looking at. And neither is half of these fucking Spanish dudes on these punk-ass boxing channels disrespecting Subriel Matias like he's not him. He is him. He's a two-time champion, an IBF and a WBC. Bro, these dudes they're trash, bro. They're trash on their analysis. They're trash on their breakdowns. They trash on their expression of what a fighter is really supposed to do. They have no style, and they only see fighting one way. And if you don't look the way that they think you should look, then you're trash. They don't know how to break down a style, but they'll get on the microphone and say styles will make fights, but they don't have no idea what they're talking about. You can continue to watch these dudes, or you can come and watch a real one talk about boxing. Man, listen, them dudes is cornballs. Subriel Matias, man, he's not the greatest fighter in the world. He's not the slickest. He's not the flashiest. But boy, I tell you, he's a problem. He is a real problem. I see what he's doing. I recognize what he's doing. And I've been trying to tell you guys about this dude for a very long time. And I told you he was going to beat Alberto Puello. I told y'all. I said, oh, he's a boxer. He's going to outbox Subriel. They don't know what they watching, bro. They don't know what they watching. They don't. I know that Errol Spence Jr. is a one-dimensional fighter. But he beat 99% of all his... You knew what he was going to do. You just couldn't stop it. Terrence Crawford shut that shit down, didn't he? Controversial car accidents, retina surgery. He was never the same fighter. I think had he fought a prime version of Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, he still wins, beats Errol, but it would have been a much different fight. Much different if the real Errol showed up. 100% healthy. He was just a conundrum, a puzzle. He was tough, durable. He took shots. He took your best shots and kept coming forward. Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias is very elusive, very evasive. But in the fire, you're going to get hit. And I repeat, half these dudes don't know what they're talking about. They want to pretend like they know about boxing. They want to sound smart. They want to think that they want to sell it to you like they know what they're talking about. Oh, I've been in gyms. I've been around here. I did this. I did that. I did this. I did that. Did you ever fucking fight? Huh? Did you ever fight? Or did you just talk about fighting? Are you a warrior? Do you really know what it's like when you're getting your ass kicked to overcome that? Do you know what it takes? Huh? Have you ever experienced sinking in quicksand in a fight when the fight's not going your way? Have you ever overcome adversity? Do you even know how to start a fight? You know how to end it? Really? Man, listen. I get tired sometimes. I get a little upset because boxing takes so much. It requires so much from you. It is a different sport. It is a different beast entirely. I'm not sitting in a fucking court practicing free throw shots. I'm trying to avoid power shots, getting punched in the face and being knocked out in front of my friends, families, my daughters, my wife. That's what I'm trying to avoid. And I'm trying to land my shot. And facing adversity when you get knocked down and shit and coming back in a fight. Do you know anything about that? You know what that's like? No, but most of these guys will sit here on this fucking microphone and speak like killers. Like real analytical breakdown guys. The real number guys. I like those guys. Some of them are pretty good, right? Because I'm not on the term that you always got to fight, but you do sometimes. And there's certain situations in boxing you need to experience. Because if you don't have no experience in it, what the fuck are you talking about? If you've never experienced that, what do you know about that? What do you know about fighting? I listen to the analytics. I listen to the guys that have never been in there too, that have dedicated 20 years, 15 years to the sport, they might know a thing or two. They got history. They they they're knowledgeable. They got years of experience of commentating and watching, and they can break certain things down. Now, to a certain level, me and that guy can have a conversation. Only to a certain level. But and then when it comes to actual fighting, that's where you got to get off the bus. I'll take it from here. I'm sorry, homeboy, you ain't never fought. I'll take it from here. You see, when you explain something and you're fucking talking about a sport, well, then goddamn it, that's why they always hired. You ever notice in that same sport, who do they hire? What do you see the two commentary teams? It's usually a guy about numbers, analytics that never did the sport, but it's a smart dude, and it's always one retired vet sitting next to him that did that sport. It's usually like that, ain't it? It's usually like Tim Bradley and fucking another guy that talks. One never boxed, but is a real good commentator and can break things down. And the boxer can explain the boxing facts. That's how it is around here in Round One Sports Talk. I'm the boxer that is explaining the boxing facts. And the rest of these fucking channels are the ones that are just running their mouth. That's how it goes. All this shit about Subriel Matias, now all of a sudden all his wins are in question. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Try to feed me that shit. Go take away Canelo Alvarez's all his wins. Go. Oh no, Canelo tested positive, but and then he was acquitted. Yeah, right, bro. Yeah, right. Canelo Alvarez is never acquitted, bro. I don't know what the fuck they talking about. And just in case they try to say that shit, that's not what happened. He was found guilty. What they did was they reduced his sentence. Meaning they gave him like a year, 18 months. I forgot what it was, the suspension. And he kept fighting it with his lawyers. And they reached the point in time where that they ended the suspension and they reinstated him. That doesn't mean that you are acquitted. That doesn't mean that Conor Benn was found. See, Conor Benn is on a campaign saying, see, I was found innocent, not guilty. No, they just lifted the ban in the UK. They felt like you did enough time. Kind of like time served. They cut your sentence short, but you were still sentenced. The athlete is going to come out and say, look, I was innocent. So much so that they cut my time short. I told you I was innocent. That's what the fighter's going to say. Of course, he wants to do damage control on his name. He's not going to come out and say, yeah, I was positive and they let me go, but I'm a cheater. Come support me. No. Same thing Saul did. No, you got tested positive, brother. Remember Saul Canelo Alvarez's, what was his excuse? I ate tainted meat from the bodega in Mexico. Come again? Saul Canelo Alvarez, you mean to tell me you're a multi-million-dollar athlete and you're eating bodega meat in Mexico when your chefs have your meat in your food flown in from the best meat source outlets? You're a millionaire. You got the best vegetables, everything. It's fresh. And you're trying to tell me that you tested positive because you were down in Mexico City eating with the common folk? So you were eating day meat. Brother, don't tell that to me like I'm a 5-year-old kid. You're a multi-million-dollar athlete. Bro, I've been around rich people in my life. They get their meats in coolers, in ice coolers like this. The guy himself drives up to the house and brings them and has like a list of everything that their chef ordered. And they fucking take all the meats and everything out the ice coolers and they pack the refrigerators and then they Give him the check or the bill. That the guy that owns the house, he don't deal with none of that shit. It's your chef. They deal with all that. And they stack the coolers, and the guy leaves in the truck. You don't go to no grocery store. You're not going down to the bodega, Saul. That's so much bullshit. But hey, let him tell it. But now Subriel is the villain of boxing now, I guess, huh? Give me a fucking break, bro. And to all you Puerto Rican dudes that double down on your fucking Puerto Rican brother, go fuck yourselves. And that comes from me. You guys are shitty. You know? At least before you bash Subriel, let the findings come out. Allow him to be found guilty first. All these videos that these dudes, man, I love the fact that they make it because you could see the two-facedness and the double standards for boxing and who they really stand on. You ain't supporting us. You never were. We know who you were supporting, and we know why you made your channel. You'll see it firsthand. Listen, like I said, if he's guilty, he's guilty. I will spare him no expense. So Subriel, if it is what it is, it is what it is. But I'm at least willing to hear him out. I'm at least willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, just like they gave Saul, just like they gave Tyson Fury, just like they gave Conor Benn, just like they gave Ryan Garcia, just like they gave Alicia Bungard. I could be here all day. And all of a sudden, my boy Subriel tests positive, and he's the fucking worst thing in boxing since fucking, I don't know, since Mike Tyson biting Evander Holyfield's ear off. Like, bro, at least allow shit to play out. But you can really tell the channels that'll stick it to you. And it be your own people. It be your own people that do it to you, bro. These dudes is full of shit. What's this dude? I don't even know this fucking dude's name. I was just on my boy Jay Smooth. He be talking some shit too, but he be a little bit biased, but at the same time, but there's this other Spanish dude. I don't even know his name. He got some glasses and shit, like these see-through shit. He's a straight sellout, bro. Straight sellout. I can already hear him now. I don't even want to see what he has to say about Subriel because I know his punk ass is already talking shit. And it be your own people that'll stick you in the back, bro. Straight phonies. Should take his Puerto Rican card from him. Just take that shit. Let me break yourself. Give me your Puerto Rican card. Yeah, we're gonna keep this. Oh man. I'm trying to tell you, man. And it's not just like, look, be proud of who you are, right? Good, I'm proud to be Puerto Rican, but I'm not biased. You guys know me. You know I'm gonna give it to Subriel if this what happened. But I'm just telling you guys that at least I'm willing to let this shit play out. That's all I'm willing to do. If you cheated, Subriel, man, damn, bro, I gotta give it to you. And I will, right? But show some loyalty. Give him the benefit of the doubt, damn it. Like, at least allow him to prove his case. Isn't it innocent until proven guilty? Or is it guilty until proven innocent? In Subriel's case, public perception, all these dudes are already putting out, he's guilty. Damn, he's already guilty. He has to prove his innocence. And how many times have I come up here and I told you that these testing dudes are not on our side? They're not on our side. Even if they know it's a false positive, they're going to put it out as a positive, prove that it's a false, figure out why it's a false, hire your own guy. It's not my job to clear your innocence. My job is to find you guilty. The testers, that's their job. Now you got to prove your innocence. So we really don't know if this is a false positive. Now, mind you, the way this works is that if Subriel Matias' first test, which was the urine, tests positive, they have to do a blood analysis on him. They got to take a tube of his blood, a tube of his toxins out of it. They can no longer use the urine like they do in probation or parole because you're in a professional setting. This is people's lives are at stake here. You can hurt someone in the ring. So in a professional setting, the next one is going to be a tube of your blood. They're going to be able to determine when and where Subriel Matias took that ostring. To the date, to the minute. They'll be like, it came into your body at 12:45 on a Sunday. That's how they can tell. In your blood is going to test for everything in your blood. There's going to be a spike of a substance coming into your bloodstream. The one good thing about the human body, it records everything that you put into it. Your hair follicle is probably the best way to test. It's one of the most thorough, but that's a little bit personal. That's a little private. You're going to find out everything about me I've ever done in my life for like 20 years. Nah, I just want you to test for the moment. Whatever I did in my life, I think that's my life. In order for me to sign off, for you to take my hair, that's a little bit too intimate. You don't need to know what I did 25 years ago. That's not what's on trial here. What's on trial here is whether or not did I test positive right now. That's all I'm willing to sign up for. That's it. All this other information you're going to find out about me that you should have never been privileged to know. No, that's deep. Not everybody's willing to sign up for that. I don't care whether I was doing anything right or wrong. I think just that's too personal. That would be like, oh, let me go into your thoughts and rewind your thoughts and look at everything that happened to you to find out what happened on that night that we're talking about in question. I'd be like, oh, hell no. Hell no. You be seeing me doing some shit. Oh, you was with her? You was, no, hell, whoa. Hold up, dog. Yeah, I might not want you to know too much. Oh, slow down. Like, I'm not willing to sign up for that shit. They want to. And I think Turkey, Ed Hearn, and all of them, they want to take Subriel Matias out of this fight. They want to distract him. They want to take him out because they want Dalton Smith to get that belt. I'm going to tell you right now, Dalton Smith and Subriel Matias should be fighting for this WBC world title. Worst case scenario, they strip Subriel Matias and have Dalton Smith and Alberto Puello fight for the vacant WBC world title. Subriel Matias will never see that belt again. Never. He'll never get a shot at either of those men for the belt. They'll just avoid him. Don't you see that they saw firsthand? They threw the best shot at Subriel Matias. Don't you guys recognize that Alberto Puello was supposed to win that fight and fight Dalton Smith? And Dalton Smith was supposed to beat Alberto Puello and take the belt. That's how the line was set up. Don't you see that Subriel Matias was the dark horse that pulled off a victory he was not supposed to win? They didn't put Subriel in there to win. They bought into the hype job that was Subriel Matias, like Ed Hearn, that never boxed in his life, that he went all over social media and heard everything that these fake-ass dudes were saying about Subriel that they did not understand. They didn't understand what kind of fighter he was. They couldn't see it. They couldn't see Subriel's superiority as a boxer because they were blind to the art of fighting. That's why. So when they hired Subriel Matias, they said, oh, he's just a big punching bag. Alberto Puello's going to box circles around him. That's the way the night was supposed to go. But when you don't know shit about real fighting, you couldn't see it, could you? But the rest of us, that get in there and lock horns and fight and know what it's like to fight saw the threat that is Subriel Matias and was like, wait a minute, you guys might be in a lot of trouble. And I was right. And the rest of us were right. And Subriel Matias threw a monkey wrench into their plans. Ed Hearns and Turkey Out of Sheik were walking on the beach, holding hands, talking business. You know how they do. They like to hold hands. And they were walking, holding hands, gripping each other's hands tightly. Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we put Alberto Puello against Dalton Smith in Irish land, right? Hold my hand tighter. Hold it tighter. All right? Huh? They had a plan. And Subriel Matias disrupted that. Once they found out that Subriel Matias was a threat, and they view him now as a real threat, that they're no longer wanting to fight him in the ring. The way to get that belt off that beast, strip him. Get him stripped. Criminalize him. Smear his name. You can't beat him in the ring, and the two guys that you got are not going to beat him. And as the fight is getting closer, they're starting to worry for Dalton Smith. They're looking at Dalton Smith and they're going, nah, he ain't going to do it. We got to figure out a way to get that belt off fucking Subriel. We fucked up. You think everybody's happy Subriel Matias beat Alberto Puello for that belt? No. Alberto Puello was supposed to be the sacrificial lamb to Dalton Smith. And they were okay with that. Now, they like leading Dalton Smith, and he became the sacrificial lamb. They like, oh shit, Subriel Matias is a real wolf. He's a real one. Oh, wait a minute. We might have to like get him. And Subriel didn't bend the knee. You guys do know that if you go to the David Yard fight card, on the bottom of the card, it should say canceled fights. And Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith is on that as a canceled fight. They were supposed to be on that card. And Fresh Production didn't go along with it. Nah, fuck that. Our guy's worth more. Then if you're not going to pay him, we'll pay him. They didn't like that shit. So I think that there's some funny business going on here. And if Bang Bang Boogie Boxing knows, it has any truth to what he just said about Suleiman and the WBC congratulating both fighters for testing negative. So they were told one thing and then it was announced something else, then there might be something at work here. The fact that all these guys got up and fucking deep-throated a microphone just to fucking a shit on Subriel Matias real fast, it just goes to show you the level of fucking the double standards in boxing. And for clicks and views, these guys are willing to shit on their own people for clicks, views, and likes. Real shitbag dudes, bro. Real shitbag dudes. Because everybody is trying to fight for equalness in a sport where a lot of racism, a lot of double standards, a lot of promotional shit, all kinds of fuckery happen in this sport. And we're trying to navigate our way through it all. And at the same time, support your favorite fighter. You know what I mean? But try to keep it fair. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. That's what I'm on. You know what I mean? And I'm on some shit where let's hear him out. At least let's hear him out. If we allowed Canelo Alvarez to talk and we heard him out, he tested, okay, let's see what the man has to say. He ain't tainted meat. Really? Okay. And you proved your innocence by how long? Really? Okay. So let's hear him out. Tyson Fury, what did you do? Let's hear him out. Alicia Bungard, what did you do? Let's hear her out. At least you heard all of them out. You heard all of their cases. Conor Benn left the UK, came over here. What did America do? Embrace him. You guys showed up to his fights. Huh? But yet, he could test positive in the UK, come down to America. He's cool. We're going to go watch him fight. But fucking Subriel Matias, which is an American, tests positive, and you guys did what? You guys didn't even hear him out? You dirty motherfuckers. Each and every one of you. The double standards is real. It's real. Yeah, go ahead. Shit on my guy. But we got to hear out your guy? Dillian White, what happened? Yo, bro, this sometimes it's like you can see. And then you know what it is? Their favorite channel says something, and it's like a domino effect. All the other smaller channels just copy, paste, print. They got no backbone, no spine. They don't know how to speak for themselves. They just see this guy reported. He reports what he reports. He double downs on his bullshit, and he kisses his ass. That's exactly the way it goes in these YouTube streets. Not here around One Sports Talk. Shit, we speak freely. I have a backbone. I have a spine. And I'll talk here, there, anywhere, the same way I always do. You guys know how I move. I ain't got nothing to hide. I ain't got nothing. You ain't like what I said? Well, then tell me what I said. Tell me your opinion. We can talk about it. Right? I'm not saying I got to beat my virgin into you. No, of course not. We can talk like normal people, right? You see? But I'm always going to speak my truth. I'm not going to let the world dictate me or sway me from everything I've learned throughout the years. Life is nothing but a school. That's all it is. You go and you walk through life and you experience some shit, and you better fucking recognize some shit as you're going through life. Don't go through life just experiencing some stuff but not learning from it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm in school every fucking day. And I learned in class, shit, you better raise your hand and speak up. And you better speak your mind. Speak your truth. Don't allow someone else to influence you. Do your own investigation. Do your own work. Do you know what I'm saying? These dirty motherfuckers, that's all they do. That's all they do is shit on Subriel Matias and they kind of guys so that they can be accepted somewhere else. You know how many times I've seen that in the hood? How many times I've seen a white boy trying to act black, a Puerto Rican dude trying to act black, a black dude trying to act white? I've seen that 100,000 times. It's really funny to meet a Cape Verdean, where I'm from. I met a Cape Verdean dude, black dude, afro. I spent 4 hours talking to him and him explaining to me why he's a white guy. 4 hours. I was sitting there and looking. He was telling me why he was born white, what happened to his skin color because his mom dated a Cape Verdean, but his mom's a white lady. He's naturally a white guy. He's blacker than black, afro. He's convinced he's a white dude. I've seen that before. I've seen it. Is it weird? Is he in his human right to feel that way? If that's how you feel, brother, I guess that's how you feel. I wasn't going to change his mind, right? Shit, I don't think I could, right? So I just feel like, yeah, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. But I will not allow you. I will not allow the world to convince me that just because you cut your penis off and go get some surgery and get a set of tits and change your name from fucking Derek to Destiny, that you're a woman. I will not let the world bend me in a way that I have to succumb and agree to what you're telling me. I need to have enough sense as an individual and a man to think for myself. And is it my God given right to refuse that? To refuse that just because you choose to change the way you live, that's not the way you were conceived. And it's up to me as an individual. I can show you respect. Yes, ma'am, go by. Even though I know you're a dude, just out of respect. But in my world, in my head, you will forever remain a man to me. Forever. Your name's Derek. All right? It is up to me as an individual to govern my right and my sanity. My sanity and the way I think must be respected as well. Just like what your decisions were, you can have yours and I can have mine. I do not have to play your game. That is also my choice. And I do not have to be bullied into the fact that you say, this is what I have the right to call myself. And I say, you're right, you do. And I also have the right to say no. Just like you have the right, I have the right. I don't have to succumb to what you say. I can respect you. I don't have to disrespect you. That's the way you feel. That's the way you feel. But this is the way I feel. And you must respect me for that. As a man, you got to learn shit. You got to know what you stand for, what your beliefs are, and you can't allow things to change you just because they're what everybody else should say you should do. Nah, bro. That's not how life works. If you allow that, they will change you. Then who are you as a person? I know what the fucking world built. They built me. By every fucking experience I've ever went through in my life, life has built me. Throughout my entire life lessons, this is what the world made. Whether I'm fucked up in one way, think one way, whatever, I'll figure it out. But I'm learning through my life. And I've learned these things. Life has beaten the shit out of me and try to submit me. Try to submit me as a Latin man in this world. They try to take away my Latin tongue. They try to tell me that being Puerto Rican, I was neither white or black. I was always we were always in the middle as a child. What are you, white? What are you trying to act black? Why are your pants sagging? We never quite fit in. We were always in the middle as a Puerto Rican man. They try to make me choose who is I better hanging around with, the brothers or the white dudes. That's what they try to do my entire life. They try to take away my Latin tongue. They try to tell me that when I'm in places, don't speak my language. They try to make me choose and put down my flag because I hung around with y'all. My family, my uncles, and my country didn't allow me to forget who I was. It made me proud to be who I am. And let me know that you should be thankful that you have a second language and that you have an island where your people can go back to and call home. And you guys got tradition, heritage, culture. And then you got to learn who you are. And for years, America tried to beat that out of me. For years. Thank God for the good men and women that were Puerto Rican that sat me down and told me There is no shame, and don't allow the world to make you feel ashamed for what you are and who you are. None of us had a choice of what we were going to be as nationality or race, creed, woman, or man. But the one thing is to be proud of what you are and love everyone else the same. Love thy neighbor. I love the Russians, the Mexicans, the Japanese, the Irish, everybody. We're all just people in school trying to make our way through this crazy world. But it's nothing worse, right? You got to admit, it's nothing worse than watching a black dude beat up another black dude as a police officer, arrest his own brother, his own cousin, show out for the man, and you can see it. You can see it. There's nothing worse than your own people bashing you. That stings a little. And you got to admit that. It's okay to admit it. It's okay. Whenever you're alone in a different land, a faraway country, have you ever went on a vacation or been somewhere, anywhere in the world? What is your first instinct to do? Find someone that speaks and looks like you. You could be across the entire world. If you find someone that speaks your language, you're going to attract to them. That's the way it is. You feel a little bit safer. Someone speaking your language, now you're like, oh, and you're one of me. And that's how the world has us. Thank God for men and women that taught me the difference between that. To have no hate and no bias towards any other nationality because they're just like me. Just trying to find their way. Just trying to live life day to day and figure out this thing as we call life. But it's true, man. It is very true. For me, man, it stings a little. It stings. When I see my own people like straight up being the first ones to bash us, not even giving us the benefit of the doubt. Allow the man to prove his innocence. Subriel Matias. And these dudes is something else, man. I'm gotta tell you, bro. I woke up early for this one. I was up at the crack of dawn, like, what? What? Subriel, what? Like, yo, I was tight. And to see all these dudes, the ones that made the videos, is my fucking people, bro. I was like livid. I was like, wow, bro. They didn't make that many videos when fucking Canelo Alvarez tested positive and Jaime Munguia just tested. They didn't make that many videos that fast, that early in the morning for Jaime Munguia, but they were up quick, early at the crack of dawn. Subriel's a cheater. Yo, like they couldn't wait, man. These dirty motherfuckers. I was just like, wow, man. But we gonna find out. We gonna find out. We gonna find out, man. Subriel, man, the only thing I got to say to you, man, prove your innocence. If you got to the point in your career where you felt that much pressure, where you couldn't take off the weight and the fight was, man, and you did some dumb shit, damn, brother. It's fucked up when you do some shit, right? You get bagged or whatever, right? And but it was the first time you did it. Now, some people are going to say, oh, you did that to your entire career. And it's fucked up when you got old in the sport, and you wanted to continue, and you were looking for something to keep you in the game. That could very well be what happened. But that's no excuse, Subriel. Unfortunately, if that did happen, you still cheated in my eyes. You still would have cheated. Subriel, unfortunately, I love you. I've been to a lot of your fights. But homeboy, this is a big one, bro. Yeah, you're gonna go on a list, my man. But Dust yourself off. Take it from here, Subriel, man. You know what I'm saying? I just got to see what happens with this B sample. I got to see what happens with the whole situation, but I'm pretty much on the line. Uh, if they started this process right here with Subriel, they're going to try to strip him. They want him out of the way. They don't want him with that WBC world title. And Turkey Al Sheikh definitely has shown that he's a little salty. He's acting like it anyway, right? He's acting like it. And damn, Subriel, bro. We gotta figure this shit out. We gotta figure this shit out. But one thing I'll take, listen, man, if my dude did it, it is what it is. I'll come up, I'll be one of the first people to let you know, yo, man, yeah, he fucked up. You know, and but he's not the first person that to do this. He's not the first person. There's been many fighters that have tested positive, that have gone out and still had tremendous careers, fought for world titles. Tyson Fury, didn't he fight Usyk for like all the belts? Didn't he test positive? Like when? Alicia Bungard is still fighting for world titles. Saul Canelo Alvarez maintained all his titles while testing positive. Okay. Conor Ben still boxing. Ryan Garcia is about to fight for a belt. All right. What got signed? Bang Bang. What got signed last night in the middle of the night? We were talking about it. Could you put that down in the chat real quick? What fight was finalized so that you can tell the boxing world right now? I was gonna come out and say it, but you're the one that told me. I'll give you the opportunity to write it in the chat and alert the people that have not known this information because I got it from Bang Bang Boxing. So please put that down in the chat, Bang. Right? And you know, these guys have went on to still have big paydays, world title fights after testing positive. Life goes on. Life continues. I would like to see how the boxing world treats Subriel Matias after everything I just said. Ryan Garcia they trying to make him fight for a fucking belt. Mario Barrios, I so he tested positive. See what happens. Yes, an initial ban was given. He never did win the belt, so they couldn't strip him, right? But still had success. Still getting the bag. That's my point. Where Subriel Matias goes from here, what happens from here? Is this all speculation? Is this all rumors? Is there any fact behind it? Where's the test B sample? We're getting closer to the Dalton Smith fight. We're getting closer tomorrow to this big fight. I mean, Dalton Smith and Subriel Matias, they're supposed to kick off in January, right? The beginning of next year, right? Right after December, Naoya Inoue, then they were supposed to, and that was my point, where they both signed in under training camp. Meaning, do you guys remember when Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney were scheduled for this fight? The fight was announced, the contracts were signed, but they both did not enter into training camp yet. Meaning that they had to notify the Boxing Association that they're starting training camp and they have to submit all their supplements, what they will be taking during the process of training camp. Now, if Subriel Matias notified the Boxing Association, notified them and say, we're officially starting training camp today. Just like Devin Haney entered training camp first and Brian Norman Jr. yet to enter training camp and to allow and notify the Boxing Association that he is indeed starting training camp. You understand? Okay. So that's what I got to know. I got to know if they bagged him within the time that he submitted and said he's starting training camp. That's worse than getting bagged non-active. Because even though you got a fight scheduled, you still wasn't activated. That's a big part that I need to know. Because while you're in it, if you get bagged, then there's a problem, a big problem. He's going to get stripped. But if he wasn't signed in it and they bagged him, he wasn't on the contract and he hadn't submitted that he was starting training, they might not be able to strip him for the belt. There's a difference in the timeline that I don't know. That is something I want to know, that I got to find out. I don't know. Maybe I could call Camachito. I haven't spoke to him in a long time. See if I can find out some shit. There's some more things. There's a couple holes in this story, some big holes like this, that I really wish I was next to these guys so that I can ask a couple questions. They're just answers that none of you guys are going to be able to ask unless you're like in it, you know? And they still put Ryan on the main card against Rolly in New York City for testing positive. What the fuck, right? Huh? Talk about it. Right? George Martinez, 66, says, and they still put Ryan on the main event card against Rolly in New York City. Exactly what they did. You know, the boxers and Conor Benn was awarded a fucking major showdown with Chris Eubank, not once but twice, after testing positive. Tyson Fury test positive and was awarded a title fight for all 4 belts. It's the timeline. Remember when Alberto Puello tested positive? He was trying to have a baby or something. He tested positive for a banned substance. But wasn't it while he wasn't in a fight? He was just waiting. Remember? Like that counts for a lot. If you were under contract and you submitted to them to activate your status as a boxer, because when you don't got a fight scheduled, you're just inactive. Then you got a fight scheduled. Now you got to submit your paperwork to them to let them know you're active. You see? So off, you can take some. Did you guys know that for therapy, for some of these guys, athletes, football players, basketball players, baseball players, that they use steroids to get them stronger for recovery? You guys do know that, right? That's what the PE and the steroids sometimes are for. You can actually write as a football player, if they put you on a depth chart and they put you on the disabled list, then you can take steroids for recovery. You kind of got to let them know by your doctors that you're taking a steroid to strengthen your ACL tear. And they give you a steroid and you get back in shape. Same thing that football player with Tom Brady there. Welker, was it Welker? Right? No, Edmonds. It was Edmonds. Sorry. Edwards or whatever, right? He got hurt. They cleared him when he was hurt. He told them the steroid that they was taking. They knew about it. They know about it. But they tell you can only take it from here to there. You have to have 6 months off the juice to come back. So if you opt out for that steroid shit, your injury has to get you out for at least the entire year. You're going to miss the regular season. So if you're going to miss the entire season, then you can afford the 6 months clean to come back. You see? But when your injury is not within 6 months, you might not want to take the steroids, because if you take that steroid, you're going to have to do 6 months clean. in order to come back to the sport. They don't play around, but they'll allow you to take it. Yes, they will. Off season, you're not in the sport. And that's, you take a steroid, shit, for asthma. One of my daughters have asthma. They give her a steroid in her inhaler for her lungs. It says steroid on the bottle. They use steroids to heal you, yes, and to do certain things. But when you're off inactive, that's a different kind of bust. It's a different kind of, if you were active, that's a different story. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. I need to know if they entered an official training camp. You know? And just because you see the guy in shape, you might see videos of Subriel warming up for Dalton Smith. Yeah, I'm getting ready. Pop, pop, pop. Doesn't mean that his corner, his team had officially started training camp. That's just footage could be of him just doing what he does every day. He's a boxer. He lives a boxer's life. He's always in a gym. That doesn't mean they officially signed up for the Dalton Smith training camp. No. It's just footage of him training. So you don't buy into that. Just because what you see is not what's true. They always do that. You know what I mean? So I don't think let's see what Bang Bang Boogie's saying here. What's this? What'd you say? I don't think that Matias was signed up to the 365 testing. So huh? Let me see if I read this correctly. I don't think that Matias was signed up to the 365 testing. So obviously he was signed in, and it was only one sample submitted. The same sample which came back negative. The same sample which came back negative. If the sample came back negative, Bang Bang, why are we here? So you mean to tell me that you're saying some fuckery is going on? That's what you're saying? Bang, find that tweet and share it with Edwin so he can put it up for the haters. Yeah, well, I got the tweet. Speaking of tweets, here, let me put some shit up for you guys. All right, let's see here. All right. Let me share my screen with you guys. All right. This is what I want you to see. This is the Ring Magazine and their statement on what happened. So, Bang Bang, if you can send me anything else, I would like to share it on my screen because this is what the Ringside Magazine put out. Subriel Matias, right here. Look, it says it right here. For the performance enhancement drug Osprey in the VADA testing, sources tell the Ring. Matias, the WBC junior welterweight title defense versus Dalton Smith on January 10th in New York City is now in jeopardy. Matias has 10 days to request testing of his B sample. You see how it says it right there? He has 10 days to request the B sample. Now this is now you got to remember where you're getting the source from. Ain't these the same haters that are trying to hate on Subriel Matias? Ain't they those the same guys, Ring Magazine, that try to buy his fight out, that didn't want to pay him, that try to set him up with this Dalton Smith fight in the first place? Those are the same people, right? All right. And just because the Ring Magazine puts this out, does the Ring Magazine work in VADA? How do they know all this shit? If you can find that thing, bang, bang, send it to me. Let me check my phone. He hasn't sent me anything yet. Oh, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Frontline sent me some. I'm talking to the guys. Okay, Frontline, what you got for me? Suleiman just released results from VADA testing with both Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith negative. Congratulations to Fresh Production and Matchroom for being in a clean boxing. What? Did you guys see that shit? Tell me y'all see that shit. Come on, TV. Come on, camera. Focus in. There you go. There you go. Focus in, baby. Can you guys read that? It says Suleiman. Just you see it. You guys see it, right? So Suleiman, the WBC, sent out from his account on social media to thanking Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith's team and Fresh Production for being a clean fighter. So according to Suleiman, he was just clean. And all of a sudden, what, within 24 hours, the test results went back to positive? Who's lying here? Who's lying? Share it on the computer? Uh, you sent it to me on a message on my phone. Okay, then I would have to like send it to myself, right? You should have sent it to me on Messenger. It would have been easier for me to put it up on the screen. You send it to me as a regular message to my phone frontline. Now you got me a little fucked up. I'm like, how the hell am I gonna get that to go there? I would have to copy it. Uh, yeah, I would copy it, and then I'm gonna. How do I share it to myself? Uh, uh, I could probably just look it up. How about that? And throw it on the screen. That would be easier. I don't know if I can go on Twitch and find it. Yeah, well, yeah. So that's one of the things they're saying about Subriel, right? The Ringside magazine. He put that up. I'm still waiting for Bang. Has Bang sent me anything? See if I get that other one. But yeah, it's all over the fucking thing. Everybody is smashing Subriel Matias right now. Subriel Matias tested positive for Austrian and Avada um, screening, putting his January 10th junior welterweight. Turn off the music. It's playing in my ear. WBC junior welterweight title defense against Dalton Smith at risk. He now has 10 days. Oh, I already read that to you. Oh my god. Yeah, another guy here is saying that what he thinks is that they want Adam Azim to fight Dalton Smith, and that Adam Azim is a future opponent for Dalton Smith, but Dalton Smith needs that WBC world title. And that now speculations and some peoples are going around saying that this is all a setup to try to get the belt off of Subriel to get it to Dalton Smith so he can fight Adam Azim and so that the Saudi prince can get the fight in the matchup he really wanted. So I think that there's some truth behind that. I really think there's some truth behind that. I think that the Turkey dude um, didn't like what Subriel and his team did. And I think that they have their eye on Adam Azim and Dalton Smith fight. And I really think they want that. I don't think that they care about Alberto Puello or Subriel Matias. Both of those guys were not in the picture. Neither was Alberto Puello or Subriel Matias. Both Latin men. Both of them. They want Adam Azim and Dalton Smith and to get that belt. And it's probably true. It's probably true. I can see that. But they don't want to run Adam Azim or Dalton Smith through the gauntlet. Meaning, they saw what Subriel Matias did to Alberto Puello. They saw it. They were right there live. Turkey Al-Sheet was present. He was in the fight. I was there. Bang Bang Boogie boxing. He was there. He was right next to me. We were looking right at Turkey while he's watching Subriel Matias beat the shit out of Alberto Puello for 8 rounds. That's what I saw. Then Alberto Puello took over from there. But no. He Turkey Al-Sheet saw the problem that is Subriel Matias firsthand. He saw it. He saw the Terminator that he is. You know? And like all you see all over social media of all these small clips and everything of Latin men just fucking stabbing Subriel in the back. Bunch of haters, bro. It be your own people, bro. Stab you right in the back. Your own fucking family sometimes, your own loved ones, your own people, your own kind be the first to stab you in the back, to kick you while you're down. Yeah, my man's down right now. Okay, he's down. He's not looking good. But allow him to stand up and let him speak for himself. Allow that part to happen before you shit on him. You know, because I told you guys, I am not biased. It is what it is. And I will not sugarcoat it. But I'm not jumping off the deep end just to prove that I can bash my own kind, just to show the world, oh, look at me. I'm not biased. Let me bash my own people. Nah, man. Sometimes you need to show a little loyalty and a little self-respect for you and yours. You know? I'm not saying kiss his ass. I'm not saying show favoritism. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying, allow him to talk. Let's figure this shit out before we find them guilty. That's what I'm saying. That's all I've been saying. That's all I stand on. Equality. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. That's it. That's it. All these jokes and all you little funny fucking YouTube content creators. Oh, Subriel Matias must be hanging around with Ryan Garcia. They good. You think you funny? You think that makes you hilarious? You're a fucking sellout, bro. And it's easy for you to come out and show your true colors. How just one simple event will just have you fucking shit on your own kind, huh? Give me your fucking card. Get on the other side. Stand on the other fucking side, you fucking. Bro, this is pathetic sometimes. Yo, man, that should be pissing me off because in a world where we all want second chances, I don't know too many people in this world that lived a perfect life, that throughout their entire life, they never made a mistake. Me? Shit, I don't want a second chance. I want a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chance. I fuck up. And I've been known to be a little of a fuck up. But I try to clean my mess. And I try to like do the best I can. I'm not perfect. But I know if there's one person on this fucking planet that lived a perfect life, you throw the first stone at Subriel. Throw the first stone. Because who am I to criticize a person for doing something wrong? I've done plenty of things wrong and I've asked for forgiveness. I've asked for a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance. Because I don't always get it right. And I would love to sit up here and tell you that every time I experience something wrong, I didn't do it again. That would be bullshit. I failed. I've gotten up. I failed again. I've gotten up. I failed again. But I keep living. I keep showing up to life. And damn it, if somebody can't do something wrong or fuck up and ask for a second chance, or at least allow that person to make things right. If they're an asshole, if they don't have no remorse, no forgiveness, we'll find out. Then you are who you are. You're a shitbag. Let's find at least that out. But no. They got a shit on Subriel. Just to prove, look at me. I'm Latin. Shitting on the Latin dude. I'm not really biased. Look it. See? That's not how you do that. Allow them to find him guilty. Allow the findings to come out before you start accusing him of all these things. Allow him to have his moment. And then when it comes out definitively, he did this, now talk. Now you have the right to your opinion. But damn it, he's being accused. How many people have been accused of shit that were innocent? How many? How many times have they accused you of something like you did this, you took this? It wasn't you. Did you want to prove your innocence before they fucking called you a thief or a liar or a cheat? And what happens when you did prove your innocence? And you show them all, look, it wasn't me. What happens? Do they all come out publicly and parade your innocence like they did calling you a liar, a cheat, or a thief? No, they don't, huh? They just figure it out and then, okay, you didn't do it. But where was all that energy when you was calling me all these names and making all the accusations and pointing all the fingers? Where was all that energy at when you found me innocent? You didn't have the same energy. Oh, you're innocent. I fucked up. Nope. It's never like that, is it? And these motherfucking shitbags for clicks, views, and likes. Subriel, when they ask you to go on their channels, these Latin channels, I hope you and your PR team sees who really had your back, who really was there for you through your worst times, and who gave you the benefit of the doubt, right, wrong, or indifferent, allow you to at least plead your case. That's all. I hope that you guys see fresh production of all these people that called you. Hey, can Subriel come on my podcast? Can we talk? Huh? Can we? You know what I'm saying? And and the ones that never got you to go on, which why? Because of this. Because of this right here. Because when you need help, when you need people to do damage control for you as your own people, they wouldn't even do it for you, bro. You need help right now. Your name is being smeared. And you're asking your loved ones and your people and your fans and your to have faith in you. That's what I'm doing. I'm at least having faith in our guy. Allow him to fight his case before we crucify him and find him guilty by just public perception. Sometimes people say things about you, and even though they find you guilty, the damage was done. No longer are people going to view you the same way. And even though you get acquitted, shit, we've seen that time and time again. But that the person that was accused of doing something ugly was found out later that they didn't do it. But what happens to their image? What happens to who they were as a person? It is ruined forever. You know how that goes. So be careful what you believe, what you follow, and who you watch before you make judgment on other people. Because you yourself, just like I myself, we've all deserved and all asked for a second chance when we really wanted it. You know? So I'm not willing to do or act towards a person when I know what that's like. Allow me to explain myself. Allow me to fight for myself before you find me guilty in the courts of opinions. That's it. If it is what it is what it is, gentlemen. But let's get there first. Look, my name is Edwin. You guys know me here at Route 1 Sports Talk. I started this episode a little bright and early because I want to get in front of everything. Please share this video, like the video. I don't want to make it too long because I want people to hear me out before they cast judgment on this man. All I'm asking is to let's hear the evidence before you start bashing him. Before we start thinking, we can talk about it. We can talk about this for as long as you want. But just like they gave Saul Canelo Alvarez the benefit of the doubt, just like they gave Conor Ben the benefit of the doubt, Alicia Bungard, Tyson Fury, just like they gave Ryan Garcia the benefit of the doubt, and after a year suspension, what did they award him with? A title fight in a main event. Market value. What he brings in overshadows being tested for Austria. Let's see if they do the same for Subriel. You think that if they ban Subriel, give him a suspension, when he comes back, he's going to be in a main event for a world title fight? The double standards in boxing is real. It's real. As long as you can put asses in seats, they will look by past anything. As long as you can sell like Canelo Alvarez, you can test positive, absolutely nothing will happen to your career. Your name will not be tarnished. No belts will be removed. Nothing. Let's see if they do the same thing for Subriel Matias. I doubt it. I doubt it. Because the double standards do exist in boxing. And to all these fuckers that just shit on your boy just to get a click of view or like, man. You guys are shitbags. You have no sense of loyalty or respect. when your own nationality is willing to eat your own nationality, bro, you gotta question that shit. What they call them dudes in the hood? I remember the brothers when another black dude tried to like down other black dudes for the white dude, for the white man, and like show up. And there was, matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it on my ethnicity. True story. There's a cop that used to work in my city. He was Puerto Rican. Him and his brothers grew up with us in the hood. His little brother was in the gang, the same gang I was in when I was little. The Kilby Street dudes, right? Okay. So his older brother became a cop. They're Puerto Rican, right? When he got on the force, he got on the drug force, the gang task drug force. They were like they were a task force that monitored the gangs and the drug activities in the city. That Puerto Rican cop he's got to be one of the busiest piece of shits I've ever met in my entire life. Matter of fact, he was on Cake Boss. He later retired off the force and was on Cake Boss. He's a Puerto Rican cop. I've never met a bigger shitbag in my entire life than that man. When I look up the word shitbag, it's a picture of him. This guy became a cop. And the first thing he did as being a cop to show the white man that he's not going to protect Puerto Ricans or anything, he arrested his brother, his sister, and his mother. You heard that right, his mother. He arrested his own mother. What he did was his little brother was in a gang and he knew his brother had a gun, but he left it at his mom's house. The mom loved both sons, and the little son always told everything to his mom. The big brother said, I just want to help him, my little brother, and get him out of the gang life, mom. Tell me where his gun is. She told him where the gun was in the house. He arrested his mother and charged her for aiding and abetting her little brother and then arrested the brother. Now, the sister, she was a mess. She was out on the street selling ass, doing drugs. We all knew this. He would pull up, arrest her like every single night. He only wanted to arrest Puerto Rican dudes. That's all he did in the hood. Then, you guys, I don't know if you know this, but this is public record. He killed a Puerto Rican kid on a moped. He ran him over with the car. He said he was chasing a kid on a moped that stole a moped, and this Puerto Rican cop ran him over. True story. The kid was underneath the car screaming, and he backed up and snapped his neck with the back wheel. He killed him. Then the same Puerto Rican cop was found later in the news, and we read it in the tabloids. He was caught at work with drugs in his locker and an unmarked gun that was used in a crime that was supposed to be in the crime lab. So he went out, grabbed the gun, was probably going to shoot a kid, and placed the gun on him. This Puerto Rican cop. He had so much corruption and so much shit. In fact, him and another Puerto Rican cop were in Worcester under an investigation of robbing dealers, taking their drugs and bringing them to the other side of town and having these guys work for them in another projects. Then later, they retired him off the force, and the next thing I saw him on Cake Boss. I've never met a more disrespectful shitbag of a person than that guy right there. We all knew it. He was a Puerto Rican cop, and the only thing he wanted to do was to show out for the white man and arrest and criminalize as many Puerto Ricans as he can. And this is nothing but the truth, that every Puerto Rican he basically caught on the streets, he didn't catch them fair and fair. He would dig in his pocket, take out an 8-ball of cocaine, put it down and say, I just found that on you. He always did that. That was his MO. He set mad Puerto Rican dudes up. There are dudes in jail right now because of him. And that's the truth. That's the God honest truth. I've actually seen him do that on the block. He would tell us, oh, you don't want to tell me nothing? You don't have no drugs? No, you do have drugs on you. He would pull it out and say, I just caught you with this. What could we do? Nothing. They're going to believe his word over us. There was nothing we could do. I remember the time they shot him with a shotgun in the valley, in the chest. This kid from Puerto Rico shot. Nobody knows who it was. We just heard it through the streets. But he had a vest on and he lived. That Puerto Rican cop. Motherfucker came out in the valley, pow, caught his ass. But they didn't body him. And then I guess after being shot and betraying all his friends, nobody would hang out with him. His girlfriend was like an ex-stripper or something that everybody ran a train on. He just became a cake boss. And in Cake Boss, then we came to find out that his family said he didn't even make the cakes in Cake Boss. That they would go and cut, and they would bring in a cake and have it set up for him to act like he was making it. He never made anything on the thing. Like his family revealed that to us. See, because we were still kicking it with his mom after she did her bid that he put her in jail for. She got out. You know, his sister was trying to clean himself up, this, that, and everything. And his little brother was already growing up that been arrested like 10 times by him. All right? He got 3 years for that gun upstate because of his brother. So they were the ones that told us all this. Because their family, they were hood people just like us. It was just that his older brother became that cop. Yo, he sold out us on a level I've never seen a person sell out their nationality for. I've never seen anything like that. That's kind of like Sammy Sosa turning white. You see what Sammy Sosa looks like right now? It's kind of like that. He did all that but turned white. Had he turned white, it would have all made sense. The cop. But he still looked like us. That was the problem. He talked like us, he looked like us, but he sold us all out, bro. I've never, and I repeat this, I don't give a fuck where he is in life. I care 2 shits about that dude. I've never, and I'll repeat this to my day, I'm 51 years old, I've never met a bigger shitbag than that man right there. Even the guy that I know that lived up the street, that raped his grandmother, that they put him in jail for 25 years, that guy is a saint compared to that fucking Puerto Rican cop. I would rather talk to that shitbag that I would never talk to for doing that to his grandmother. We would never speak, right? But I talked to him first before I would talk to that fucker. That dude was on a different level. He wanted to be white so bad. It was incredible. I've never met. I've seen sellouts before. I've seen Uncle Tom's. I've seen all that. I've seen that shit before. But to this level that you arrest your own mother, that's a true story. He arrested almost everybody in his family because they was all basically criminals, right? But you don't got to do that. That's Mom Duke. She birthed you. Man, that's a level of shitbagness I would never understand. I will never understand some shit like that, man. And yeah, his fucking name was I forget his fucking name. I don't even want to say the cop's name. He don't deserve it out of my mouth. Fuck him. But yeah, man, I never met a more shitbag of a dude. Yep. And then I met a girl that I guess he was extorting to sleep with her because his boyfriend was on parole and he used to go to her house. And she was like, yeah, you know, he's got a little dick too. I was laughing. I was crying. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. It's sad. I was like, no wonder he's probably like that. I was like, yo. Yo, the Puerto Rican gods didn't bless him. Mm-mm. No wonder he's so angry. No, but he was a shitbag, bro. Straight. And that's what I mean. And sometimes, you know what I mean? Like when I see like the Irish dudes, the Russian dudes, the Japanese dudes, the brothers, the Dominicans, the Russians, when I see them talking about or backing up one of them guys, I don't get offended by that. I see that as pride. I see that as the right thing to do. In a world where we're segregated and we're always taught this, that, black, white, this and that, we're instilled that. If you have no sense of loyalty, not even for anything in your life, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. You will never see the lies and the truth. And I'm not saying be blinded. Not saying be blinded. I'm just saying be proud of what you are. You don't have to be biased of what you are. You don't have to think that your nationality is better than everybody else's. That's not what I'm saying. It's okay to love your people. It's okay to embrace your culture. It's okay to love who you are. There's no shame in showing your pride for your country. There's no shame in that, and we should never feel that way. But I love all nations, all countries, all ways of life. How you doing? My name is Edwin. Who are you? That's how I would greet you, with respect, dignity, and some fucking sense. Nah, man. I'm willing to hear them out. I'm willing to hear them out. I'm not Mexican and I was willing to hear out Canelo Alvarez. I'm not British and I was willing to hear out Conor Ben. Why not hear out Subriel Matias? That's all I'm saying. I was willing to hear out Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? And I'm an American. Let's just get that right. I was born an American. I am an American. I'm proud to be an American. It's what I am. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I had no choice. I'm American, Puerto Rican. That's it. Puerto Rican first, then I'm an American. That's it. And I'm going to tell you right now, uh, you know, when you look at things objectively, here, let me point something out for you. Here, let's try something right now. I'm going to put something on my screen. I want you guys to just see this with your own eyes. So let's put this on the screen. Hold up a second, guys. I want you guys to look at this, right? Not this idiot, but let me change the dynamic here. I mean the how do I do that again? Oh, okay, I got it. Right? Uh how do I where's the button that I do that feature again? I don't know. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I want you guys to see this. Why does it keep doing that? Where's my I think all I gotta do is actually okay. Come on, would you all right. Okay. This is what I want you to show I want to show you. All right. When we're talking about what you are in this world, right? And we talk about what you represent. On this card right here, I actually have who I'm picking. Let's just look at the four top the fighters. David the Monster Benavidez, Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney, Abdullah Mason, and Jesse Bam Rodriguez. You guys want to know who I got in this fight? I have all the American fighters. If you don't know this, David the Monster Benavidez was born in America. His flag is an American flag. Brian Norman and Devin Haney got American flags. Abdullah Mason is American flag. And if just in case you didn't know this, right here, Jesse Bam Rodriguez has not a Mexican flag, but American flag. He was born in America. He actually represents America. In this event, I have all the American fighters. Do you see their flags on the side of them? You see Yard's flag? You do see Sam Note's flag. And you obviously see Martinez's flag. What are the flags for all the other fighters? Look at it. You see? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. Yes, I am. But America is going to be probably the flag that is posted. You could put a Puerto Rican flag respectfully, but it's probably the same thing. It's viewed as the same thing. Probably. Right? It's kind of like the day you find out that Captain America is actually, in fact, Captain Puerto Rico. When you find that out, you're like, oh shit, right? I dare any of you guys to go look at Captain America's uniform right now. Look at him. Doesn't he have one star with the red, white, and blue, red, white stripes at the bottom? Take Captain America, flip him sideways, and draw a square. You're gonna see the Puerto Rican flag on Captain America. It's only one star and red and white stripes on Captain America. He's actually Captain Puerto Rico. Yeah, it's crazy. I swear to God, take a picture of Captain America while he's standing there with his shield and just draw a square from his neck to his torso. Go like that. What do you see? And then turn it to the side. It's a Puerto Rican flag. It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, that's just a joke. It's just ironic that they made his uniform like that. I don't think they ever thought of it, but it's true. Bro, you basically got him in a Puerto Rican flag as Captain America. It's fucking true, man. So I find that funny. But anyway, I showed you that and I said all of that to say this, that there are men that are Mexican American. Virgil Ortiz, where that sometimes as cultures, because you wasn't born in their island, they won't accept you. And it's a kind of like bad way of viewing it, because they don't accept Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is actually an American fighter. He has an American flag because I don't know, the Mexicans don't want to accept him as a Mexican. You know, it happens in Puerto Rico a lot too, like with New York Ricans. That shit happens. It sucks when your own people won't accept you. It's kind of like the brothers in Africa. With New York black dudes go out to Africa, the black Africans say, you ain't African. You're not one of us. They don't accept the New York black man, the American black man. They don't, in Africa, they don't accept them. They don't like them. And it's like that in everywhere. Like in Spain, if I go to Spain, they don't accept Puerto Ricans, man. You know what I mean? It's because the Spaniards are like the top notch of the Latins. So I get it. I get it. But most of the time, it's when you know what you see. Most of the time, it's fucked up. You got to do some shit, right? To be accepted. If you do some shit that's above and beyond, your culture and your people would accept you, even though you weren't born there. Because if you stood by their flag and you represented the country to the fullest, they would see it. But you would have to do some shit. You know what I mean? It's kind of fucked up sometimes, but it happens. It happens. But it's no more worse that some New York Ricans gonna get up on a fucking platform and straight disrespect Subriel Matias for being an island-born Puerto Rican, which doesn't really shouldn't, but God damn it, bro, you gotta be that much of a sellout. You gotta sell out your own people. You gotta sell out the little bit of Puerto Rican you are. Just for what? You gotta sell everything out? Fucking ridiculous, bro. But you could have your opinion. You could state shit. My thing is that, it's not wrong. It's not wrong to support your people. And that's been my whole message. Love your people, love yourself, love all other people, love all other cultures. Keep learning. You know what I mean? Don't allow one asshole in the bunch to ruin your perception of how those people really are. Sometimes you'll have a bad experience with a different culture or ethnic group of people, and you'll try to like pin that on all of them. That's not the way the world works. There are some asshole Puerto Ricans. There are great Puerto Ricans. There are some you can't trust. There's some you can trust. Not all Spanish men, Latin, Puerto Rican guys are on the up and up. And that goes for every race and culture in the world. But I'm not going to allow one Russian to ruin my perception of how Russian people are. I would like to know their culture and their religions and their way of life as Chinese, Ecuadorians, Filipinos, Mexicans. I'm all for it. I always like to learn. Usually, I want to learn the bad words first, but I always get a kick out of learning a new language, trying a new food, trying a new dance, and maybe kissing a different woman. You know what I'm saying? I've always been cool with that. I'm down to take some maracas and be, let's go, baby. You know what I mean? I've always been that type of person. I like to, always experience different things. And I think that that's the beauty in life. I think that going through life and really experience what life has to offer and every coach, man, I find a kick in that shit. Man, I would love to go out to Swedish and be with a Swedish. Talk to me in Sweden. Go ahead. You know what I mean? Those kind of accents. Like, you ever hear like a girl from like Texas talk? And I'll be sitting there, I'll be hearing them talking shit. I get a kick out of all that shit. So I can't. I've never been the type of person to hate on another person for their skin color, the way they speak, their culture. Nah, it fascinates me. I love the fact that I know how to speak another language. I love that. I love that. I love the ability to speak multiple languages. I love that. And I think that we should all be diverse people and we should learn to experience other ways of life and not just be one way minded of thinking, I only eat this food. I only do that. I only, view the world for its beauty and all its cultures and everything it has to offer. But never be embarrassed. Never be embarrassed to be prideful who you are and what you represent. Don't let no one extinguish your fire, your flame. And please, for the love of God, do not allow the world to take away your language. Teach your kids your language. I'm guilty for not teaching some of my kids Spanish and shit. I wasn't around them long enough. But I learned the value and the importance of doing that. And now I do that with my nieces, my nephews, and whatever kid I could do because I see the importance of having your traditions, your language, and your culture live on. I see that importance. Don't ever let them kill you. no matter how tough it is for you and your people. Keep striving, keep pushing forward. And I send nothing but love and positive. Um, I wish love and nothing positive for everyone out there. You know what I mean? But be be aware and be careful for the snakes in the grass. Cause I'm coming around with my lawnmower right now. And I'm gonna weed out all these snakes and all these so-called fake ass people that will shit on their own just to hey, look at me over here. Look. I'm a sellout, complete sellout. I hate when they do it that way. You know, you don't have to kiss their ass. Like I could talk, I will talk on the matter with Subriel. Yes, I will, but not this way, not this way. When you guys fucking the Mexicans backed up Saul, man. You know, they were out there full fledged backing him. And I was like, hey, they got the right to. Let's back Subriel Matias, man. Don't fall for this bullshit right now. It's too early for this shit. Come on, Subriel, bro. Don't let us down, baby. Don't let us down. Bro, prove him innocent. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to beat him in the ring. In all their plans, in all their future money plans with Adams and Dalton Smith will never come to fruition if they can't get past Subriel Matias. They don't think no more they can beat him in the ring. They got to smear his name. They got to take him down a different way. Same thing they do with Terrence Crawford, Naoya Inoue. If they can't beat you in the ring, they smear their name. They try to distract you. All the great ones. Notice that? They had to drag Terrence Crawford through the mud. And he had to go through that racial thing with Bob Arum again about black fighters. And then Bob Arum's other fighter, Teofimo Lopez, went the other way with it, didn't he? Oh, you're showing favoritism to all the black fighters, but you're not fucking showing it to the Latin fighters. So the Latin guy felt that way, and the black dude felt that way. About the same guy. Ain't that a bitch? Right? Ain't that you? When you think about it, I'm like, man, fucking the world, huh? It really is a fucked up place. But we got to navigate through this shit. We got to navigate through this. So for me, to Subriel Matias and your team, you are innocent until you are proven guilty. You will have your day to explain yourself. I hope more things. I'm going to stay on this story. I'm going to lock down what I can. Please, in the chat, put down what you guys know about the story, what you guys feel about the story. What do you guys think about the situation entirely? Put it down. Write it down. Put it in the chat. I'm going to be paying close attention because I think the world's going to be watching this real close to figure out what's going on. I'm going to finish waking up. It's only 8:45 in the morning. Back in the gym for me. Back in the gym. I've already had my time off. My ankle is not all the way healed, but fuck it. So back to the workouts, back to the training. I got some things to prove to myself, you know. And that's my journey. That's my journey. That's my choice. This is what I want to do. And I'm going to continue to do it. But I'm going to tell one more thing. You know, you ever see a guy that, you know, thought he could kick a grizzly bear's ass, and for a small, you know, there was a small window of opportunity and he made it out the cave without the bear killing him. But he realized when he was in there with the bear, he had made a horrible mistake. And somehow, by the grace of God, he managed to get out of the cave. Although he was tough going into the cave with the bear, saying, beating his chest, I'm going to beat your ass, bear. And he walked into the cave. Once he realized he was in there with the bear, he realized how lucky he was to get out of the cave. And he knew that if he got out of that cave, he would never go back in there with that bear. That is exactly what OC the boss did with me. OC the boss can get up here and tell you guys he want the rematch, but on the low, he doesn't ever want to fight me again. I can tell you that personally. I saw it in his eyes. We talked after the fight when we were in the gathering. He knew he fucked up. He went in there with a bear, and he was thankful to get out of that with a win. You can never convince that guy to fight me again, because he knows that if he fought that bear while he was sleeping, you let that bear fully wake up. He managed to get out of that cave without getting the best of the bear. He was lucky. He was real lucky. I'm telling you right now, if you can get OC the boss to stop shaking, because he knows it was one of those situations where you had the gun pointed to your head and the guy pulled the trigger and the gun jammed. So that happened. But his life flashed before his eyes. Yeah. And he know. He better know. Because I'm telling you right now, we ain't fighting in Atlanta again. Next time we fight, we're going to fight on fair, square, playing field. We're going to fight somewhere where it's a little bit more neutral. And I'm going to tell you right now, he will not fight me again. I don't believe it. I think he looked down the barrel of a gun. The gun didn't go off one time. And he could beat on his chest and say, at least I did it. I beat round one. I don't ever have to fight him again. And he could take that and ride off into the sunset. And if I was him, I would do exactly that. He should recognize that by a small margin, he won that fight. Right? And he should also recognize, take his win and run with it. Because I promise you, I'm going to do everything in my power to not let it go to the scorecards. It's going to make me do that. I'm probably going to end him in one round. Either he catches me or I catch, and I know he don't got no power. I took his best shots, pop. Man, listen, right? I just had to catch up to him. Little out of shape, little by myself, little, getting back to the swing of things. But if I was able to do that with an 0-0 record, with your little 15 fights of activity, and you just can't, he does not want to fight me again. Like, I'm already on your level with none of your experience. Imagine fighting me again? Shit. So anyway, I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to get another fight. I don't think it's going to be OC the boss because I don't really think he wants to fight me. I think that's all smoke and mirrors. I could tell when a guy wants to fight. I've been in plenty of fights. I could see right through your eyes. He doesn't sound or look. He's been shopping everywhere else. He's been, when that says to me, like, he don't never want to fight me again. So Bria's a cheater. I mean, that's what a lot of people are waking up this morning talking about, but I hope you go back and watch my video. My entire video. Subriel's no more of a cheater than any man that ever tested positive, no more than Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia's test positive, A, B came back positive. What happened in the B sample? Mysteriously negative, acquitted. Let Subriel Matias fight his case before you call him a cheater. If you weren't there, you don't know what happened. And Eddie Renault, the WBC Suleiman, I put up the text just before they said that Subriel was dirty. The WBC president got the test results back, and it said that Subriel Matias was negative, and Dalton Smith was negative, and he congratulated Fresh Production for having a clean fighter. Then the very next day, Subriel's dirty. So before you get on here texting Subriel's a dirty fighter, please learn your facts and learn what a smear campaign is, and that is a real thing. When then other promotions and other people try to smear a fighter's name, is because they can't beat him in the ring. But if you want to fall for the okey doke, copy, paste, and print, and you believe every sad story you hear, you would be that guy right there. Subriel's a cheater. How could you say that if he hasn't been found guilty yet? But according to you and public perception, you're the in all say all. It's whatever you say. You're not there in the lab. You have no testing results in front of you, and you personally don't know Subriel or Dalton Smith. But yet, you can come up, type in the text, Subriel's a cheater, under what proof? Where did you get your source? Who told you that? So we already know what kind of people those people are. Those are the copy, print, paste people. The people that speak when they hear something from some guy, but don't allow you to clear your name. The type of people that say you're guilty by association or you're guilty because he said so. The type of people that I guess never did anything wrong in life and don't need a second chance for anything. Huh? They've never done anything wrong in their life. So they can come up here and throw a brick to a glass house because their house is solid. They do no wrong. Right? No, those are the same shitbags that do everything wrong in life, always want a second chance. But when someone else wants a second chance, they don't want to give it. They want, but they don't want to give. They want to be shown mercy, but they don't want to show mercy. Those are the same people that are so egotistical that to themselves, they think that everything they say is the in all, say all. Real God complex people. I see them all the time. They're not thinkers. They always get blindsided by the little things in life because they never see it coming because they don't know how to think their way through situations. They don't know how to break things down. They take things for the first thing they see or the first thing they hear. Up, they name streets after people like that. One way. They must get blindsided in life by everything. Their girlfriends, their jobs, everything. They don't know how to think things through. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in here at Round One Sports Talk. I hope I said some things. I'm never here trying to like change your mind or persuade what you think. If you have an opinion, stay with it. But you could also hear my opinion. You see? If you want to think, feel, act a certain way, that's your choice. I respect what you think, how you feel, and what your opinions are, and I'll share my viewpoints on it. But we all have our opinions. I want you to know that not one answer or not one question here in the chat was wrong. Here at Round One Sports Talk, you are all free and entitled to your opinion and the way you view it. And if you want to put your thing in the chat, I will allow you to, because the world will only see what you text. That's how you feel. That's how you want to be. I'm not an asshole. Just because I feel one way or think one way, I'm not the in or say all. You guys have opinions. You guys have feelings, and you guys also have the ability to express how you feel. And this platform is a safe platform where we can come up and speak freely. We can debate things. We can talk about things with respect. With respect. You see? So I just want you guys to all know that what you guys say, I value. And what you feel and what you want to say about a fighter, here's your world stage. Here's the stage for you to say, dislike, however you feel. Boxing fans, I hope you had a great day, a great morning, start to your morning. I hope you have a great day. Please don't forget to give these videos a like, share the videos, subscribe to the channel. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. So what do you believe happened to Subriel Matias? I've already explained it all in this video, brother. He tested negative, George. Justice for Subriel. That's right, brother. Justice for Berlanga. Yo, and now we going crazy. Berlanga's trash. He said, nah, he was just fast tracked. He was fast tracked. He had a good fire beginning half, like 16 straight knockouts in the first round. They had to recognize he was a young man that needed to evolve. He went from there right to like the world stage. It was too big of a jump. Like most of us, he fell into the pitfalls of the lifestyle, the bling bling, the women, the parties. Uh, it'll do it to the best of boxers. You train less. You sleep on silk sheets. Your desire is no longer in it. It happens. Hamza Sharik beat Edgar Berlanga. It is what it is. I think Edgar Berlanga is still up there for Puerto Rico, though. He doesn't have a belt. But as far as Puerto Rican fighters, Subriel Matias, Edgar Berlanga, they're definitely leading the way. When you think about the most Puerto Rican popular fighters, like what popular Puerto Rican fighter right now has better hype than Berlanga? You might think he's trash or whatever. Well, that would be your opinion. But he is kind of like that embarrassing loss in New York. You got to get over that. He's going to have to come back, but he was fast tracked too fast. And he got into a situation he was in over his head. It made him look real bad. Yeah, it did. Unfortunately. But Edgar's got to come, he's got to prove to the sport that he's in it. That's why I'm Puerto Rican, and I was like, man, just because I'm Puerto Rican, I'm not buying into Edgar Berlanga. I got criticized a lot for that. And I still stood on my square. I was like, just because I'm Puerto Rican doesn't mean I have to be stupid. I don't have to bet with my heart. I see what hard work and dedication is. I see what talent is. And I see that Edgar Berlanga is lacking a few of those things. And I said it. And I'll continue to say it. But I love Edgar Berlanga too. I love what he does. I love what he stands for. And Boricua, baby. You know what I mean? Not all my Boricuas got to be undefeated world champions in order for me to love them. You can lose too, and I can still have pride and respect for you, Edgar Berlanga. Thank you for competing. Thank you for bringing my flag and my people's flag out to a world stage so that the rest of the world can see our flag. Thank you for doing that. Whether in victory or defeat, you have done a lot for our people. And for that, I love you. Edgar Berlanga, you're the man. Everybody else, I hope you guys have an amazing day.